Hello everyone, I am Tacit and welcome to the Gems of War Tower of Doom, week 31, day 2. So of course we actually already finished the entirety of Tower of Doom. I wasn't able to get the video guide up yet though, but do intend to still do that. However, yeah, of course, last night's stream, we ended up finishing out the entirety of it, and by the entirety I mean up to 25th floor completion. Which means as long as you see a 26 there, you have completed Tower of Doom. My guild seems to still be going, though, because we're rank 15. So who knows, maybe we'll do some more of our battles this week, just to kind of help our guild push to 10. Because if we're actually trying for it, it's only 25 more gems, but hey, 25 more gems is more than not 25 more gems. So we might consider it with the rest of our sigils, we'll see. But as we currently stand, we're just going to be kind of staying here. Though some of them definitely are grinding, that is for sure, gosh. They are going very, very high. But anyways, in other news, of course, we do have the faction event, as we do every Tuesday. I did actually skip this last Tuesday, though today we will end up doing it. Rewards for it's still pretty good. You get 2 orbs and a vault key, among some other various resources. You're also getting 2 times chests every single time you're, standard 2 times multiplier chests every time you go through one of these. So some pretty good loot that you get through shards, gold, and other similar resources that the underworld commonly drops. So we'll be going through this. I really hate this place's layout, though. Very, very annoying layout to do optimally. However, we'll be going through that. And aside from that, of course, as the number to the right of me indicates, we are still hunting for the Mimic, unsuccessfully, but that is not going to stop us from continuing to try. And what's this? Nature? Oh gosh, they're trying to sell them. Oh no! They're trying to sell them for actual money. Don't give in. Oh gosh. Well, good thing I bought the extra tiers, because how many more did we get by buying 2 more tiers? I think we got like 14 of them. Is that why Tower of Doom hasn't been happening as often? I'm not sure they ever sold them before. Yeah, we get 14 of them for free. And how much are they charging for 14? Like 15 bucks? Pretty much. Oh gosh. Yeah, they're almost like $1 a piece. Gosh, they're charging a lot for them. But you can get an extra 14 just by buying up to tier 6 from tier 4. You can also buy them infinitely for 167 gems, I believe. Because you could buy the tier 3 for 3. This isn't too advised to mass buy, though you can exchange every 167 gems you have that you've gotten for free through other means for a single scroll of whatever the color is for the week, in this case green. Of course, you have to do them 3 at a time. That's where I get the the 167 from, is from 500 divided by 3, and you can end up getting them that way. However, yeah, it's like the only other way to really do it. But just buying up to tier 6 or tier 4, generally the 2 best ways to go for. Tier 4 is just standard weapon and pretty much the minimum I would advise doing. And tier 6 just gives you some extra scrolls, also giving you the emoji set and the portrait early, as well as some other loot like some diamonds and some drops. We got literally a mythic off of this one the other day, but that was off of pure luck. We ended up getting the Ani, the Flaming Ani or whatever it's called. Do we have 2 copies of it now? Should be 2. Obviously we had 1. Yeah, we now have 2 copies of them because we only had 1. Anyways, so where on earth should we start? I almost want to start with the faction. So we mentioned some faction teams on Monday. We ended up mentioning a Tesla team as well as a insta-kill team. I guess we'll go with Tesla. I'm trying to think. What do we have? We have access to blue and red. That's a bit of a weird color combination to win quickly. I'm trying to think, like, what Empower do we have access to under blue-red that we'd kind of want to use? Oh, there's an easy way to check. Blue, red, Empower. I'm trying to think, like, if we wanted, like, a super ultra rush method. Wait, do we have access to 2 different skull spammers? We do. That's interesting. I feel like that'd be slow compared to just going for a single cast thing. I could do double Empower into a big AoE. Is always an option. Like, we have convert to green, as well as convert to green? Yeah, we have double convert to green. What's the chance that both of them would miss? Pretty high, probably. You know what? I'm gonna go for it. Let's go build our team around that. Might as well. Anyways, let's start with the faction then, so we could spend the rest of the time doing the grind on the mimics. That seems like it never ends. But anyways, I'm not sure why I just didn't do it in this screen. Because we're building the team here anyways. So we're gonna go for, but you can go down the skull route. That's kind of interesting. You can go for both this and this into your team. However, I do want to go for the insta-kill into a big green AoE. In this case, for the earlier battles, obviously Rowan. So we're going to do like a Rowan. What do you convert again? Yellow to green and purple to green. That is so weird. The one that's purple converts yellow and the one that's yellow converts purple. Really? Okay, and then we just set our class to like Archer or something. Because we're in the earlier battle, so we don't really need survivability. We just need overall damage. And then we change our weapon to either Black Manacles or just like our Scale Shield. I think we're just going to go like a Black Manacles or something similar though. And that is our team. And then we change our banner to very standard Rowan banner. And we'll be good to go. Okay, there we go. Oh, I don't have an extra green. Yes I do. Archer. You do have an extra green, right? No? Really? Really? Archer doesn't have +1 green? What, is it under life tree? You mean I have to go use a hero class that has a life and half mana start? I can't remember off the top of my head what exists with that. So I need something with life tree and half mana start naturally. Doesn't Oracle have that? No. I'm trying to think. What on earth has both of those two things? I need the life tree, but also half mana start. Bard, I think, is the one. Does have half mana start, does not have life. I assume one exists. I wish there were, one thing I hate about the user interface for these is, you don't end up seeing what it runs until you click through 2 whole menus. This is weird because during class events, it's a lot easier to tell like what on earth a class is composed of, as far as its trees. But it is really hard to tell because you have to go through like a billion menus when you do it through here. Is there nothing that has that combination? How about Shaman? No, you have Forest. Let's see. Storm Call? No, you don't even have half mana start. You do have life though, but you don't have half mana start. At least not naturally, anyways. Thief definitely doesn't. It wouldn't have life tree. Nope. But yeah, we need like those 3 icons for what their things are on that page. It's so annoying. Oh, here we go. Finally, I found one. There we go. Of all the classes, I need Nature's Will and 50% mana start. I found it. It's called the Tidecaller class, oddly enough. That's a bit of a weird one for it to be on. But there we go. Hierophant has +1 green, but it doesn't have half mana start. Well, at least not naturally anyways. It does get it off the new troop, but I need to have it naturally. So Tidecaller it is. What a weird one to use. This thing's, at least it gets a little bit of extra explode there. Tidecaller, generally not a better hero class. However, in this really particular instance where I need this combination of things to occur, it actually isn't that bad. I could even give Faye extra light. That doesn't help though. I need that to be armor or magic. Oh, it's still more than nothing, I guess. Oh, let's keeping it like that. Anyways, let's just roll with this. What a weird team, or a weird hero class to be using for such a team. All right, let me go confirm in this team before I go change my medals, because my medals are definitely incorrect. I really hope they change that in the future. Also, we have double convert, and I still have no way to get mana. What's new? Let's see. We'll do this. And then we kill it. Alright, let me go change my banners to armor. Or not my banners, you know, my medals. Hey, we're gonna gain a level this stream. I would hand out a redeem code then, but Kafka still hasn't given me more codes. So we're gonna be codeless for the next few days? All this week? I have no clue. I have no control over when I get codes from her. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I'm like looking for like, what kingdom are we doing right now? No, we're doing the other event, which is all the way in this menu over here. A bit of a weird team, but we can make this work. Not ideal, but I'll get the job done. So I need to remember, you're the one to yellow, the bottom one is for purple. So yellow, purple. Because I actually can't see their colors to indicate the thing. Because they both have Empower, which hides what color they're using. Because the way I was going to go over is the yellow uses purple and the purple uses yellow. But I can't do that because I can't actually see their mana. So I just have to remember that the top one is yellow and the bottom one is purple. Oh yeah, we're not using Mirage Queen, are we? I forgot, we're not actually using the thing that gives you half mana start. Or the other option that we have now. I guess I could replace out Hero, but then I have to block you with one of our troops. Which would not be ideal. Because everything that would block it would block one of its mana colors. So I'd either have to get rid of one of the 2 Empowers. But then in getting rid of one of the 2 Empowers, we won't have as good of a starting board. It's a very weird combination. That's doing what it needs to do for now. Not the most ideal team we've ever had. I could almost want to switch to Tesla, but we'd have the same issue. We'd just be trying to go for a blue convert into her mana pool. One other alternative, I guess, is go a half mana start and just simply take her mana off the board and don't even worry about convert, which at this point I feel like I'm just about to do. It would probably be the easiest way to go about this. So we'll change it for the next one. Because the double empower thing isn't working out as too well without the half start. We could always try using a new troop too and build a Fae kind of team out around it. Like some amount of them should have green and or blue link. Well, not and. None of them would have both. Which one of these is yellow again? You. And then we take that out. Also, hello everyone. I didn't say hello everyone yet. Hope all you've been doing well. Hello, Roman. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Mr. Before Bill. Hello, Isabel. Hello, David. Hello, Gimli. Hello, Bill. Mr. was before you. Hello, Tyrion. Hello, Daddy Shark. I think he's been getting here early just to be before Bill. Hello, Ajonian. Hello, Sushi Ninja. Hello, NASA. Hello, Jan. Hello, Defiant. Hello, everyone else. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh yeah, we do have access to Harpy Mage. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I didn't buy potion yet. No wonder why it feels like we're going slow. Thank you for reminding me indirectly. Forgot to buy our enchant potion. That would help things out a lot. But yeah, we have second turn and power off of Harpy Mage. That is true. We might go down that route. We could. That is definitely a tempting route to go for. It gives us nothing for turn 1, but we could use that turn to swipe mana with Rowan if we're going down the Rowan route. There we go. Now we just get free full mana. I was wondering why some of these battles were going so slow. We don't have enchant. That fixes all of our issues. Well, maybe not all of them, but definitely makes us quicker, that's for sure. Oh, also, I have a kill 150 purple objective today, by the way. We gotta kill a lot of purple enemies. Like a lot of purple. But once we start doing the Mimic team, we should be able to get them all in. So, hello, Jamie. Welcome, welcome. Alright, can we do anything here? Not really. Let's go take that over. Black Manacle, everything. And I don't really have a good option. Just keep spamming it till we have full mana. Seems about right. They have spell reduction too. Those things have like that 25%. Which can be a little annoying. Let's see. What on earth do we switch into? But yeah, Harpy Mage was a pretty good idea. We do have access to the harp. Let's see. Do I just want to go into Rowan or Tesla at this point? What typing are you again? Strix Mystic. Tempted to do Tesla. But then we can't half mana start it, because we don't have access to Holy Stain Astro with these colorations. So we'd have to go, yeah, we kind of have to go the Rowan route. Either through Mirage Queen or through, the new one, King, Oberon. Might as well use King Oberon. He's new this week. Give him a chance to do something. And then we'll go with, obviously, Rowan. And then we just need one other option. And that one other option is likely Hero with Black Manacle. Especially since we're going to be creating a Brown Storm. Oh, why did I type in weapon? Whoops, I meant Black Manacle. I have no clue why I typed the word weapon there. I wanted to go to weapons. I did not want to type the word weapon. There we go. Oh, we actually use every color between the three of them too. How convenient. There we go. And just keep standard Rowan banner. And I might even keep Tide Caller, oddly enough, because we have half mana start with one extra green, and because we don't have Leprechaun, we don't have access to that one extra green, but that one green is now provided by our hero instead. And there we go. Okay, let's roll with that. Not sure it's too big a deal we even have that extra green. We could also go down the Archmage's route if we really wanted to, but I think that's fine. Let's just roll with this. Either or works. Oh yeah, we could end up going down the Beatrix route, or even the Infinite Loop Truffle. Or Tesla. There's definitely a handful of options. Oh, I don't have a, I don't have an anti-submerge option. Maybe I should run Mirage Queen instead. Because one issue that we're going to run into is I have nothing that we can cast when there is only one enemy left with Submerge. Or, you know, or any enemy left with Submerge. Because the two hitting options we have are both, would both get countered by Submerge. And there's Submerge on both the first and final battle of this faction. As well as obviously some in between. But primarily the first and last. Which is a bit of an issue. Maybe we should go Archmage. I think what we're going to do here is switch to Archmages, but also switch to Mirage Queen. So kind of like a standard Black Manacle Rowan team, but with a weirder mana accumulator. And without using the new troop. I think we'll use them enough this week that we don't have to keep using them for literally everything. Like, he has his moments where he is good. But Mirage Queen also still has its moments where it's good. It's one of those 50% mana start troops that's kind of similar to another 50% mana start troop, but doesn't overshadow it, which is nice. Because there were some that were added to the game just kind of invalidated another one, because it's a better option than the previous option that existed. But this one actually lives in a nice in-between, where it's better in some situations but worse in some other situations, compared to the already existing option. So for half you use one option, and for the other half you use the other. Yeah, that's kind of where he sits right now. So he's a pretty good option, just not needed for everything. And this is one of those not needed situations, because we'd rather have the burst damage of Mirage Queen rather than his pretty useless ability. Like, most of his value is obviously from his half mana start. Mirage Queen's one of those really rare 50% mana start troops that has a actually really good ability. It has one of the best 4x curses in the entire game while having a skull spam attached to it. Not just any skull spam, but a doom skull spam off of that as well. It's also a consistent skull spammer because you know exactly where every single gem is going. Because it converts screen to doom skulls. So even though you can't predict, or you know, you can't just like throw it randomly and just hope it lands, you will know exactly where every single one is going. So you'll be able to preemptively utilize that based on what you need. Oh yeah, I don't plan to use Rowan later. This is mostly just for the earlier battles, and by the earlier battles, I mean like all the free battles. Because I'm pretty sure we have enough stats to run this almost the entire time. And if it doesn't kill Black Manacles, cleans. Okay, so here's the issue where I really need Mirage Queen. Like, Mirage Queen would be really good right now. Like, really, really good. Oh, did I leave that there? Whoops. Let's see. Oh, good. He still actioned out his thing. Because I can't hit him with Black Manacles or Rowan in that situation. So I think what we do here is make one additional edit, which is change a class to Archmages, change the King Oberon to Mirage Queen, and move the Mirage Queen one forward of Harpy Mage. And there we go, we now have a team. Alright, let's roll with that. This will be a bit more consistent now. It allows our hero to one-turn a bit easier. It also allows for situations where he gets poked to have a anti-submerge option, which is Mirage Queen casting its ability. Because even if it misses, he's still going to take a skull, which will drop his submerge. So even if we don't hit the skull that kills him, he's still dropping a submerge so we can kill him with AoE. So regardless, we're killing him in some way, shape, or form. Will result of that action. Also, did Black Manacles 1 Destroy actually hit a skull? That's kind of funny. That almost never happens. Oh, so hello, Supernova. Hello, Mubarashi. Welcome, welcome. Hey, I could drop for mana there. I don't think we need Mirage Queen that badly, though, because we already won. Oh yeah, I was going to ask a question this stream that I was going to ask last night, but we already did so many polls, and I already forget what that question was. I already forget. Let's see. I'm just going to take a blue and just Rowan him down. I think it was related to the faction. Wasn't I gonna ask, like, how many people actually did the faction today? Oh, if not, maybe that is what we're gonna poll. Might as well. Because I'm not sure if people are still doing it. I would assume the answer is yes, though, for the most part. Let's see. Let's pull it. Do you still do the Tuesday faction events? Yes, all the time. Yes, most of the time. Let's see. No, not since Mimics, and then no, barely at all, if ever. There we go. Let's go ask that. Or I should say, that one should have been since Mimics or Volts, because some people might have stopped when Volts. Because when Nomapalooza, I should have kept added Nomapalooza to that one, because I'm pretty sure there's some people who stopped doing Tuesday events when Nomapalooza started last year. Hasn't even been a full year yet, but I'm pretty sure there are some people that stopped ever doing Tuesday events after that happened. Mostly because the rate that you get during Nomapalooza is actually higher than on a Tuesday. So if you just extra grinded Nomapaloozas, Tuesday events are kind of invalidated, in the sense that the time you put into a Weekend Vault event is better spent on that Weekend Vault event than it is spent on a Tuesday event. However, as far as a Tuesday is concerned, the loot that you get on a Tuesday is always highest if you just simply do the event. However, if you spent that exact same amount of time during a Vault event weekend, you would get a better payout during that time spent during the Vault weekend than you would for the like 30-ish minutes that it takes you to do it on a Tuesday. So there's an argument to be made that it also was not worth it back then. However, I still find it to be worth it pretty much all the time. I think I've only ever missed it like a handful of times, probably like a dozen or so. Most of them were because of vacation or because we were deliberately skipping them because there was a patch that night. Because generally patches hit Tuesday night, and Tuesday nights are when I normally do the faction. So there have been some times like when the most recent patch came out, where we don't actually end up doing it because we focus on the patch instead. Which is, of course, what happened when Mimics came out. Yeah, it seems like it's mostly yes. Like, the 2 yes options are, like, almost the entire poll. That makes sense. Very heavily weighted on the yeses. Yeah, I think it's worthwhile to go down this route and then go down the other pathing. You'd understand what the Mimic has to do with the faction. Well, I probably should have mentioned Mimic plus Vault event. The main reason being, behind it being included, I meant to also put Nomapalooza there, but the main reason I wanted to make a category for them, but forgot to put Nomapalooza there as well, is the loot that you get from them, particularly from Nomapalooza. The amount of loot relative to time spent is higher compared to if you were actually doing the event. Like, if you use the time of one event on the other event, you get more loot. Like, something like a Nomapalooza gives you more loot than, time-wise, than a Tuesday faction event. Obviously, you can only do that during a different time. So when it comes to, like, are you going to be farming it all on a Tuesday, then yes, obviously faction's generally the way to go. But when it's compared to, like, same amount of time relative to same amount of time, something like a faction event outweighs it. And the reason why I included the Mimic there is some people might consider the time spent on the Mimic farming to also be higher than what's available on a Tuesday event. And unlike something like a Nomapalooza, the Mimic is always available, whereas the Vault event is only on specific weekends. Or whenever they plan to do it these days, because they've been doing it midweek as well now, as well as last time, where it was literally all last week. So whenever they happen. What do we need here? Let's take a purple for now. Black Manacle's not enough damage, right? It actually is. I'm not sure if it was because of the Devour or if it was just enough damage, but it indeed killed them all. You just started playing again? Hello, Ray. After almost 3 years of hiatus, it feels pretty hard to make relevant teams. There's also just so much new stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that has changed, that is for sure. My biggest advice for trying to make a new team is find Leprechaun in the event key drop table this week. Just throw some event keys down until you find a Leprechaun. Get it fully traded, and build literally every team you ever touch into Leprechaun build, assuming it can be used for the game mode. Because it is such a good mana accumulator, and you're going to find that pretty much every team can be structured around it. It's not the best option to always put into every team, but there is almost no team that wouldn't want to have Leprechaun. And he's really easy to get this week, so good time to be getting it. It's in the event key drop table this week. It normally isn't, though you picked a really good week to be starting back the game if you don't already have it. Because I think Leprechaun came out a little over 3 years ago, so you may have it, may not have it. Oh yeah, I haven't streamed on Twitch in a very long time. We started on Twitch about 6 years ago, and then we stayed on there for like a month or two, and then never streamed on it again. I'm not sure if we ever would go back to Twitch in any capacity, and if we ever did, it would just be us multi-streaming to YouTube and Twitch to try to get the people from Twitch to go over to YouTube. It wouldn't be us like to any official capacity actually streaming on Twitch. It would more so just be like an advertisement for YouTube channel, more so than anything. But I wasn't a big fan of streaming on Twitch. So we moved over to YouTube a little over 6 years ago. Or should I say a little under 6 years ago. I think like July of 6 years ago. So it's not quite 6 years yet. And we've been here ever since. But I don't even use Twitch these days. I don't think I've used Twitch for like 6 months now. And even back then I was barely even using it. But I mean like not use it like literally at all. Like I haven't even opened the app. I still don't fully understand the fascination with streaming on Twitch. I feel like most people, when they think of streaming, it's like, oh yeah, I should go do it on Twitch. But I still don't understand the appeal to this day. Why so many people just go to Twitch instead of other platforms, particularly YouTube. Because there aren't too many other platforms available these days, so maybe that's why they go to Twitch. There just aren't that many options. I said, hello, Clip-On. Welcome, welcome. Hope all's been well. But yeah, Ray, if you have any other questions, feel free to leave it in chat. I really need to make a, like, returning player guide. That's something I actually never covered. Though I do notice people coming to stream from time to time being like, oh, I haven't played for, like, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. But I don't actually have a video on that specifically. It's a hard video to cover, though. Because if you're talking, like, what has happened in the last 3 years of Gems of War, that list is a very long composition of things. Like, metals didn't even exist back then. The thing the most recent patch just made even easier to grind. Oh, so where's our Valraven, by the way? We should be getting one, like, any moment now. Unless I accidentally missed one and didn't even notice. Which sounds like something I would do. Oh, also, that was a bad move. You should actually cast Black Manacles, then cast Rowain. The reason for that is Black Manacles will do a static amount of damage to every enemy, whereas Rowain does concentrated damage, or, you know, it distributes it, so it can clean up the rest of the troops better. You actually waste a lot of damage output if you do Rowain then Black Manacles compared to Black Manacle Rowain. And we got a level 10 chest. Nice. Nice mix of everything. Good handful of loot. We should be getting a Valraven soon. Unless we missed one, I didn't even notice it. How's the Facebook streaming option? Do people still use Facebook? We actually, out of any of the social medias we had, we did make a Facebook, and it did way better than our Twitter. I personally, like, never use either of them. Like, I prefer how Facebook posting works, because I like to post very long posts. But, I don't know, I kind of like Twitter more overall, I think. I'm not sure. I hate both of them, though. But does Facebook even still exist to any capacity? I know they do, but, you know, like... like, what even is the streaming landscape of Facebook streaming? Is that something I kind of keep forgetting even exists? Both Facebook and the fact that it has a streaming option. Like, how do you even monetize on Facebook, though? If you're doing something like that. Because we'd never be able to survive on only donations. Because we don't get too many donations. Which is fine, I don't expect for people to really donate, though it is greatly appreciated when people do, as it helps out a lot. Because I'm not really sure how you properly monetize on Facebook gaming. Or how long it would even take before you'd make anything more than 0, which would be concerning. Because if we had to go like months upon months streaming there, making literally 0, that would not work out. Obviously, we'd probably multi-stream. I don't think they have any clause against it. If they have some kind of partner program. I know Twitch does. If you're partnered with Twitch, you cannot stream simultaneously to any other platform. YouTube doesn't have that clause, and I'm not sure if Facebook does. Because I'd want an option where we could still stream to both. Because there's no way we're stopping our YouTube streams. If we ever were to stream, we'd be streaming to multiple. Facebook is so meta, I get the joke. Because they were changed to meta. Is Facebook literally just called Meta now, or is it just the, because I haven't used Facebook in, like, years now. But, they still call it Facebook, right? It's just the company is now called Meta. And they're investing, like, billions upon billions into trying to make a metaverse. That seems like just, it's basically VR chat with a bigger budget. Pretty much. I still don't fully understand why on Earth, like, so many things are trying to go to the metaverse. Like, it could be fully fleshed out and finished, and I probably still wouldn't want it. Because it's a really social, engaging thing. So I hate it. It's basically every problem socializing has, but in video game form. Let's see. We'll take that over. Take a blue over there. Wow, it almost just wiped this whole team. The meta multiverse. Let's see. We'll throw that down. Yeah, the other main reason we don't really do Twitch is they have a lot of really predatory practices within their terms of service. I feel like a lot of people normally talk about it, but there are a lot of things in the full terms of service that are really bad. That I don't understand why so many people agree to. Like, the first time I ever read their terms of service, I literally left the platform. Because I was, like, thinking about getting partnered at the time. Because we easily could reach it at that point. And then I was, like, reading it over, and it's like, yeah, no. That's not happening. Let's see. We'll take that over. Oh, good. He took a skull at the exact same perfect timing. Otherwise, he would have had exactly 1 HP left. Tips for new players? Well, as of this current week, definitely open some event keys to go get Leprechaun. Leprechaun is so good to build around. As far as generally, you want to get all your kingdoms level to level 10, which is different than the star system, specifically the leveling system, which requires gold. That's pretty important to do. You're aiming to get like all your kingdoms to level 10 and like 4 or 5 stars as quickly as you possibly can. Then trying to find a decent guild. It is always good to try to be in a decent guild. Even if you plan on not doing much with the guild, it's still good so you can contribute gold every single week in order to get a bunch of loot. Guilds are one of the best ways to passively get loot within the game. and you want to definitely be utilizing it, as not only are there a ton of guild-related events, like Tower of Doom this week, that you can end up participating in, but you also get a lot of passive loot over time. Even if you don't really want to do the social aspects as much of a guild, it is very important to be in one. And a lot of them are towards the more casual side anyways, that you could easily join and just simply do the events and be good to go. Many without even having a requirement either. But those are probably my biggest points of advice. Try to aim for 5-star all kingdoms. Prioritize doing that. Get level 10 all kingdoms, which only requires gold. And try to get in like a half-decent casual guild, or whatever you feel like is right for your amount of playtime. There are plenty that do quite a bit that don't have any requirement. You can normally find them in either global chat or on the Gems of War forum. Yeah, some guilds go really heavy into Tower of Doom. I don't really understand the point as to why. I guess maybe because they bought so many tiers to get all the Doom weapons upgraded, and then they're like, oh, I have all these sigils laying around, I might as well go to completely destroy the event. Because if you're buying tier 7 20 times, because you wanted to max out like every green weapon this week, while I wouldn't necessarily advise that, there are some fraction of people that will of course do that who have a lot of resources. And in doing so, they're going to have a lot of sigils and a lot of power potions, which would allow them to break through leaderboard very, very quickly. Because they're going to have enough stats to almost like one-shot the battles. Because they don't get any harder from 26 onwards. Like, if I kept doing Tower of Doom, they actually don't get any harder. Their stats stay the same the entire time, if I'm not mistaken. Everything from 26 onwards, the exact same final battle. The only difference is the 4 rooms you find in between. But the final battle is actually the same every single time. You play 3 to 5 hours per day? Nice. That's actually pretty much more than I play these days. Because generally on an average week, I think we play for like 15 hours, which of course comes out to closer to 2 hours per day. Last week I definitely played quite a bit more because of the event and everything. We're probably closer to like 4 or 5 hours a day. But I feel like an average week these days, I probably hit 15 hours or so. Some days closer to 1 hour, other days closer to like 3. It really depends. Depends what there is to grind to do. Obviously recently we've had the mimics to go grind, which I still want to try getting that mythic, which that number below us or to the side of us will be bigger, hopefully by the end of the stream. I asked a question earlier, sorry I didn't see it. What is the most cursed runes you can get from one battle? 60, though theoretically 15. It depends how you look at it. Because technically, theoretically, it is possible to get 4 cursed gnomes in the same battle, and if all 4 of them rolled for the max amounts, you would end up getting 50 of them. However, or 60 of them, I mean. However, that is an extremely unlikely scenario. So basically how they work is every cursed gnome will drop 10 to 15 cursed shards, or cursed runes, I mean. And there's possible that you can have anywhere from 0 to 4 of them in a battle. So if you have something like 4 of them, that could end up being a total of 60. But realistically, the highest you're going to get from any single instance of one is 15. But if you have 2 of them in a battle, you can get up to 30. So if you got 15, that means they rolled an average of like, what, 12.5? So probably like a 12 or 13 or something similar. All right, there we go. Did we get all the rewards? Yes, we did. There we go. I almost said Tower of Doom. But we got the objective out of the way. And we got like nothing from it other than the little Volky. Gosh, we rolled so bad on the orbs there. Oh yeah, our level up bonus. There we go. Anyways, let's go do the Volt grind. Or not Volt grind. I mean the yeah, well kind of. The Mimic grind. So let's go spam this. Let me actually go start the timer too. I want to go time our how long it's gonna take us until we finally get a chest. Hopefully we'll aim for 2 chests today. I want to say that, though. If I say that, we could be here for 1,000 hours. No, it's... could be here for a little while. We definitely want at least 1. We'll go for a second if the first one is a bit quick. Also, I used the wrong team. Whoops, that's not the team I want. Though we could win this battle, but I prefer to not use that. Did you see your question earlier? Sorry, I missed yours as well. Gosh, I'm missing all of the questions. I'm trying to read back. I can't see it, though. Oh, there it is. You're trying to figure something out. You switched up your Explore 12 team to the gold farming version. You cannot figure out how getting 100 gold per battle nets around 1k per round. Because of the extra bonuses, it takes into account your, well, for one, there's a static gold bonus that you get just for doing Explore 12. However, your multiplier is also getting multiplied. So, for example, let's say you have one Cedric in your team, so you're getting 200 out of 200 gold. That 200 out of 200 is still being multiplied by whatever your gold multiplier is, and that number is still being added to the normal gold reward that you'd be getting at the end of a battle. Like right now, you only see 65. However, because the gold reward for the battle and all the multipliers, we're currently getting 3,424. But the reason why you'd be getting slightly more from a gold farming team is you are getting that bonus to Cedric, and while Cedric doesn't do the end gold increase, it does increase this number, and your multiplier still affects that number. So something like 200 gold with a bunch of extra gold multipliers is going to go up to several hundred. I'm not sure the exact number. But that would likely be bringing you closer to like a 5,000 gold per battle, whereas right now I'm getting like a 4,000 gold per battle. Because Cedric does not increase your end gold thing. It only increases the gold that's associated to that. However, it also makes your that number have a higher range. And still has it get affected by other gold multipliers. So like right here, we're hitting like 4,000 per battle. But you'd be hitting like 1,000 more than that with like a Cedric gold farming team. The only problem with Cedric gold farming teams though is they are slightly slower more often than not. So I kind of just do a standard 12 team most of the time. Because we're still farming plenty of gold. I think the team we're doing right now is like 30,000 gold per hour, I want to say. Because realistically, we're winning about 2 per minute. And at 2 per minute, we are getting, let's say we're averaging 6,500 gold, right? Let's say 6,000. So we're averaging 6,000 gold every minute, which is what? Times that by 60, we're getting about 360,000 gold per hour. Like, that's not a gold farming team, but that's perfectly a fine amount of gold. Like, you can hit closer to 500,000-ish or so. That also depends on your other gold bonuses and everything. But you can end up hitting... Some people actually hit 1 million back in the day per hour. But you can easily hit, like, 500,000 or so with, like, a gold farming team properly. Though gold farming team has been a bit slower since Key got nerfed, Scouting Key. So it's not really worth... I personally don't feel like it's worth running gold teams these days. It's normally ran with Plunder and Peril if you're going to run a gold farming Cedric team in Explore 12. Which runs pretty similar to the Scouting Key team, just without the extra turn potential. But I'm perfectly fine getting over 300,000 gold per hour just with this. Plus it wins a bit quicker. Because all gold farming teams are going to sacrifice a bit of time for extra gold. Can I explain farming mimics? You basically win Explore 12 as quickly as you possibly can, and then keep repeating that forever until you get what you want. That's pretty much all you need to do for mimics. The biggest issue with that is composing a team for Explore 12 that will be quick. We covered a pretty comprehensive video on that the other week, where we went over quite a few teams, many of which can actually be upscaled to Explore 12, like the Rowan build. But yeah, we covered a video on it that went over it last week. The Explore 1 to 12 teams video. It went over more so all Explore, though it did go over a few different teams through various degrees that can do Explore 12 as well. Some end-game teams, some mid-game teams, some early-game teams like Rowan build. Because Rowan can still, under a minute, take out Explore 12. It's obviously a bit slower than better options, but it's a pretty cheap build. Because it requires things that are all 100% chance of getting. The only thing that isn't is Leprechaun. However, Leprechaun's super easy to get in event queue drop table this week. So farming mimics is like farming metals. Yes, they're literally the exact same strategy. Like the optimal way to farm mimics is the exact same way you optimally farm metals. They're literally quite the same. Because if you're farming mimics, you're getting metals. There's no difference between the optimal way to farm the two of them. They're literally the same thing though. Mimics is just a buff to how good metal farming is. But they're basically the same thing. It's just a buff to metal farming. But it's not any different than how you would normally tackle metal farming. The only slight difference is the Super Mimic battle might make you change your team. So when you get a 5x chest, you're going to be up against 4 troops that all have Impervious plus like infinite score reduction. Not literally, but a really high amount. And this would require you to possibly change your team. Like, for example, the team I'm running right now cannot run properly against the Mimics. Like, if it really had to, it probably would win. But it's definitely worth changing out most of the time. Because of how inconsistent it would be against a team like that. But aside from that, it runs the exact same. as you would normally tackle Explore. Yeah, this game definitely doesn't lack Explore 12 teams that you can use. Even the Scorpius build still works in Nexus if you really want to mess around with it. I know some people kind of shifted over to that. Not too huge a fan of it. I used to use it back in the day. Don't really use it much these days, though. I like my Zugoff. Nice standard Zugoff team. There's a lot of ways to build Zugoff, though, if you want to. Definitely a lot of ways to mess around with it. This is like just the way I like using it personally. Hey, Anisha, nice. The only bad thing about these mimics is it has made me devalue Anisha. Anishas are still amazing, but compared to some of the other stuff we can get now, slightly less amazing, though still pretty amazing. It's just we've been getting so many of them lately from farming so much that they're becoming slightly less special. It reminds me when Nishas first came out, because when Metals first came out, I farmed them like crazy 3 years ago, because they came out 2019 October, I believe. I know soon after that, because we were on vacation at the time, but soon after that vacation, we were just like hyper farming them. In a month, we had like 3 of them. So we went all in on the grind there. And this last week or so has kind of felt like that, because we've been grinding Explore so much that we're actually getting a decent amount of them. Because even if you get unlucky, if you just spend more time, you're eventually going to get not unlucky. Or, you know, you're eventually going to hit what you need. Yeah, there are a lot of variants of Zugoff. I would say there's at least 6 different ways you could build Zugoff, if not more. One that's really funny is the all-in skull spam team that is so risky, but actually wins quicker than any other team, but wins slower per hour. And that's when you use Skyla. You end up replacing out Thrall for Skyla in last slot, and it gives you access to Skull Storm, which if you get lucky will end the battle like near instantly. It's used for the world record speed of Explore, though I would not advise using it from an hour-to-hour basis, mostly because it messes up a lot. Like, if you thought your hero dies some when using this team, it is going to die like every other battle if you're not lucky when you're using the other builds. Because you're just going to have so many more skulls onto the board, which is good for getting lucky and instantly winning, but really bad if you want to not die. It's a really funny team, because it wins so absurdly quick when it works, but the problem is a lot of the time it doesn't work. And any kind of super quick video you see doing it has a lot of trial and error of it not working. But if you're looking at just its peak speed, it's really funny. Because you like literally cast Zugoff once and it just tears apart the entire enemy team almost every battle. Because a higher chance of skulls appearing on the board due to Skyla. It's just really risky when you're running Slayer or something similar though, which it normally is ran with. Because Slayer dies in like 3 hits, even with max stats like we have right now, or pretty much max stats. I think we're only missing a few off a hero. Technically you need to be level 2000 hero to have max. But I would only give him 2 defensive stats in HP and armor, because I believe the other one's an extra magic, if I'm not mistaken. You have 93 power orbs? Gosh, that's a lot of power. Yeah, you went crazy on grinding last week. You got the new mythic. You got like 2,000 Vault Keys. You already have like 93 powers. Are you just opening all your Vault Keys now? Because you're going to have 100 power in like 2 days if you're opening your Vault Keys right now. Maybe even sooner. Actually, are you opening Vault Keys? If you are, what rate of Vault Key opening are you doing currently? Like, how many seconds per Vault Key is it taking you? Because I still keep messing around with quite a few different Vault teams. I normally use Phoenicia these days. And go for like a Phoenicia Black Manacle finish. Because I believe that gets closer to 30 seconds. Oh, you're just opening 25 to 50 per day? Okay. For a second, I thought it was taking you 25 to 40 seconds. Or 50 seconds. Which might actually be the amount of time. Because I know I can average around 30 seconds or so for it. Because technically, whatever you do for Explore, you can also do for that. And of course, Phoenicia build is a Explore build. It's more so a mid-range Explore build. But the battle that you do for the Volt is also a mid-range battle. Because its stats actually aren't as high as Explore 12. Which allows you to use Phoenicia. As well as many other mid-range builds. Oh, so we'll take that over. Get our Leprechaun down. Please give me the last mana I need to win this battle already. There we go. Yeah, Nisha was added back in 2019. Very late 2019. I don't remember when every major update happened, though I do specifically remember that one. Because it was the last really major update before the pandemic. Because the one we had in that December didn't really do much. Though it did do a bunch of rebalancing. So it didn't do nothing. A lot of rebalancing happened. It was actually the last time we even had a rebalance patch. We have not had a rebalance patch since December of 2019. It is 2.5 years later. Which is one of the reasons why Guild Wars is in the state it is in right now. Because they haven't really balanced it in over 2.5 years. Which any game not balanced for that long is obviously going to have balance issues. These have gotten literal hundreds of troops since then. We even hit the 1,000 milestone within that time. Because the game now has almost 1,100. But within that time frame, we end up hitting the 1,000 mark. Let's see, how many are we at these days? I know it's almost at 1,100. We are currently at the total. Oh, we already passed it. Actually, we passed it literally this week. We passed it on Monday. Oh, I didn't even realize it. But this Monday... No, actually, we would have had it prior to then. We would have had it when... last week, then, some point. Because we got 2 this week. But, yeah, we already just passed the 1,100 mark. Truly passed it this week. Because obviously most people don't have the Horde Mimic, generally speaking. Which means we officially, technically passed it this week. Though technically passed it last week if you had Mimic. Can you make a team with the Horde Mimic? I don't have the Horde Mimic, though. Also, he's not viable. You might as well literally just use Gorgotha. Like, I probably will cover a video on him just for the sake of it once we finally have him. However, he's not worth using. Like, ever. Like, you might be able to build some really trolly, like, Guild War defend team just for the sake of putting it up. But beyond that, I don't really see any use for him. Because he's basically just a really slow Stonehammer. He's basically just Stonehammer, but way, way slower. And Stonehammer was already bad. He has the same issue that Stonehammer and Guard's Shield, or Guard's... whatever that one guard troop is called from Sword's Edge. I can't remember his name. The really tanky one. He's basically like one of those troops. Where he's super, super tanky, but serves no purpose beyond the tankiness. Because its ability is extremely underwhelming and random. Despite how rare he is very useless. So far, Zugov is like one of the only like super rare things that's actually not useless. And that's after it got buffed, because Zugov actually was useless when it was first added. It was almost never used because you only cast his ability once, which made him substantially weaker. But he got rebalanced a bit, most notably getting an infinite cast, so you can cast him more than once per battle. And then he actually started becoming viable. But when he was first released, he actually was not useful at all. He's almost never used. And the problem is a lot of these other harder mimics, they're not actually getting balanced ever. As I was mentioning, we haven't had a balance patch in 2.5 years. So they're never actually becoming viable. Because Zugov would still be unviable to this day if they left him how it was when he launched. And a lot of these other rare things are being left exactly as are. Like, we still never got a buff for the cursed rune troop. I can't remember his name. That one blacksmith one. Like, we never got a buff to him. He's completely useless. But is also a slightly hard troop to get. Not like ultra, ultra hard, but it requires you to completely upgrade the Soul Forge. Which I believe only 1% of people have done. Or at least based on the Steam achievement. Like, if we go check it real quick, we can actually see how many people even have the chance of getting him. There's not an achievement specifically for crafting him. But it does require your Soul Forge to be maxed. Which means people would actually have to have the achievement for Soul Forge being maxed. Which, where is it? Yeah, reach level 20 Soul Forge. So right here on Steam. Of course, this isn't like fully accurate because it doesn't take into account people who don't play anymore. But it shows 0.6%. And you need this to even be able to craft him. Even if you have this, you might not even have a copy of him. But he's another hard to get mythic that... oh, he could have just killed. Whoops. But he's another hard to get mythic that never got buffed and is still useless to this day. Oh, what was your key opening strategy for vault keys? You run at 110% with... wait, why 110%? Why not 120? Oh no, isn't Black Manacle's Phoenicia enough to do it on 20? Because I recall doing that and it worked. Isn't that a thing? Because I assume you have max stats as well with how much grind you have in the game. Because last I recall that works. Let me go double check. I don't normally farm it on that regular basis these days. I probably should because we have so many Volkies. I'm gonna test real quick. But yeah, why 110% instead of 120? Because I'm pretty sure it's still one-shots. Let me see. Go to Vault. Open a key. Bring it to 120. Bring out a Phoenicia. Am I running magic right now? I am. Okay. I'm not running pure magic, though. It's not too big a deal. I'm pretty sure it's enough either way. But, isn't this enough damage? I'm almost 100% certain this is enough damage. Like, I am at least 90% certain this is enough damage. Maybe even 100%. Like, I am pretty certain this is enough damage to kill. I would like 1 mana, please. I don't have a half mana start set up right now. Because I'm using the other class. Yeah, way overkills. Even if he summons here, we still kill. Yeah, I'm confused as to 110%. Unless you're trying to one-shot Phoenicia. Because it might be able to one-shot Phoenicia in that situation. Which I guess that would make sense. Because you can easily double cast that. Like, we had way more than enough damage. I didn't even need that extra 8. Or, you know, the extra 4 magic there. Anyways, let's go back to the grind. Yeah, Darksmith Dranza. I forgot its name because it's so useless. Like, after we obtained it, we, like, basically didn't do anything. I don't even think I covered a team's video for it because he was just so bad. Also, I forgot to change my team again, fail. Oh, no, this is a boss battle, too. No! No, I gotta actually win. No! Whoops. Why does it even have a warning if we're just gonna ignore the warning every single time? Why does it have to have a warning that delays us every time? Because it's a warning that you ignore so much because it's so pointless, and then it never actually warns you when you need it. It also warns you at a really weird time, which isn't when you actually do your team building thing. Like, we're still gonna win. It's just an unideal way to do so. There we go. Oh, we killed all the purples we needed. That was quick. And now let's go back to our real team. Let's see. There we go. Good old Phoenicia. Can even take out Explore 12, though I would not advise it. As it's very inefficient compared to other methods. But it kind of has to. One kind of funny thing about using it with Sunspear as well is, other than Perpetual Redstorm for double damage, but one useless thing about Phoenicia that she's almost never used for is the fact that she gets to burn occasionally. Though it's kind of funny when you're using a triple damage burning hero class, because in situations like those, you can actually utilize that damage. More often than not, it gets completely unused in a standard Phoenicia battle. But if you're accidentally using her in a higher piece of content, it's actually useful because you can utilize triple damage burning for hero. In most battles where you would use Phoenicia, that never comes into play. But if you accidentally use her on Explore 12, it's actually useful. Because it's one of the worst mythic traits in the entire game. But in that rare situation, it actually gets used. Because you're very likely to burn whatever the last enemy is and then get a triple damage poke on it. Hello, Gadget. Welcome, welcome. Hope all's been well. You just got the Slayer team? Yeah, Slayer's really, really good. I definitely underestimated Slayer a bit when it first came out. I never fully thought about, like, the Enrage synergy. And then when we finally tried it, it's like, oh wow, that's like so devastating. One other thing I kind of underestimated about Slayer is how decent its finishing bleed is. This is really good actually at the low level range. Because I thought like it doesn't have half mana start, so it probably wouldn't be that good. for that. However, one thing that it gets that's really decent is the fact that if you're doing like a quick kill on very low explore, that extra bleed damage that you get is actually enough to finish off the battle in many situations, which makes it a really decent low-level explore as well, because you're getting so much bleed onto the enemies. Because it basically extends how much AoE damage you can do. Let's say you're doing like 20 damage AoE, because you're doing like the Ironhawk Dust Devil team. It allows you to actually hit for about 23, because realistically at least 2 of them will die, and that will allow you to do bleed damage of 3 to the other 2. Basically meaning that you've expanded your kill range that you could do because of Slayer. But yeah, there's a lot of weird things Slayer can do. Almost all of which I didn't really think of when it first came out. But then over time, it's like, oh yeah, it could be used for this weird gimmick and then this weird gimmick. Some of them didn't even exist at the time though. Like obviously Ironhawk did not exist when Slayer first came out. So that team came over time. But there's a lot of weird uses for Slayer. Like back in the day, I would almost consider it among one of the worst Enragers. Not the absolute worst, but definitely in like the middle section of it. But in the current state of the game, I would say it's almost one of the best, if not the best. Mostly because there's a lot of really weird, quirky meta things you could do with it. It has so many unique aspects that no other hero class can do. The 2 most noteworthy ones being the bleed procs that it could do, as well as it's the only hero class in the game with double enrage. It gets enrage when it extra turns, and it gains enrage when you get a kill. The most noteworthy one being when it gets a kill, because that allows it to, oh, I should have taken that skull first, whoops. But it allows it to, just always have enrage active. Like it never doesn't have enrage. Oh, he just stopped my skull. I'm in a really weird situation now. I'm gonna have to let him poke us. He didn't go for it, but we still win there. Bit of a weird battle, but we got through. Always annoying. That's the only bad thing about Slayer, though. It is so flimsy. Like, Dragon Guard's the tankiest of the triple damage, but it's a lot slower for something like Explore 12 because it doesn't have enough damage to one-shot. If that ever did become the case, it would be a lot more viable. However, I don't think it ever could. Because I think it's too much damage short to actually be able to secure a kill in that situation. Do you even need the 4 times Enrage? Well, Enrage doesn't stack. The main reason why you need the double Enrage type is mostly because of, unless you mean the total amount of damage, which is actually 4.5 times damage, because of how it stacks. But the main reason you need perpetual Enrage like this is there are a lot of instances, like right now, for example, where we wouldn't actually have Enrage if we were, if we didn't have the trait. So as you saw there, we were stunned, so we wouldn't have been able to have the Rage. But what this does is, a normal hero class right now, it would take a skull, and then it would no longer have Enrage. However, we can take a skull and still have Enrage without taking an extra turn specifically, which is unique only to this hero class, and it allows you to constantly keep one-shotting into another one-shot, because you never drop your Enrage. When other classes, like let's say Titan, for example, or Titan's a bad example. I don't know, what's the other hero class that has both Enrage and triple damage? I can't remember. I think it's Warlord. But for example, with something like Warlord, he has a slightly higher base attack overall. However, he has the downside of only having Enrage on extra turn. So if you're not specifically taking an extra turn skull as every single one of your skulls, you're not actually going to be able to one-shot. Whereas with this hero class, we can keep one-shotting even if we don't hit an extra turn. Like right there on the previous turn, we did not hit extra turn, but we still have Enrage. And like that, we also didn't have extra turn, but we still had Enrage. And that's the main benefit to Slayer, is it never drops the Enrage once it gets it going. Whereas every other hero class would require an extra turn for it. That's one of the main reasons why Slayer is used so much for Explore 12. That's a bit of a miss. Really bad situation. Oh, please let me cast. There we go. Yeah, you can use the proc off of Zugof's insta-kill to get Enrage off of Slayer as well. Whereas other classes would need the extra turn to do it. Because it's currently the only hero class that has Bloodlust, which does Enrage when you get a kill. Or specifically when the enemy dies, so it doesn't even have to be your hero killing it, which is why it triggers off a Zoogoth, of course. Although it also does trigger when the hero does that as well, which would be whenever it one-shots it with a skull. Or that would be the primary way. Obviously, any kill from anything would count. But normally it's off his skull poke, or the initial Zoogoth kill. What does Mimic do? You haven't played in a bit. Mimic, so the main new mechanic that was added in the most recent patch is when you go through Explore like we are right now, there's a 10% chance your normal chest at the end will be a 2x chest with from a Mimic, or 5x chest after that, after you take the 2x chest. And it basically multiplies the amount of loot that you end up getting within the chest. So we'd get 2 times as many of the tokens, or 5 times as many if we get the bigger chest. However, like right here, it would give you 2 times or 5 times. However, if you end up getting the 5 times Mimic, there's also about a 10% chance that in it will be a new Mythic that we still don't have yet. It's one of the most unobtained Mythics in the entire game. And we're trying to get that right now, and have been for quite some time now, and still haven't been successful at it. But it's mostly just a new feature added to Explore that makes it just get slightly more loot when you're farming for tokens. Though it also brings in a unique troop that I still have not gotten yet, that we're still trying to hunt for until we get it. Also, we might just only go for 1 chest because we're getting pretty unlucky on this one. Might just keep going to stream until we find one. But yeah, they're kind of rare. I feel like on average we find 1 per hour. Though, based on our polls earlier, we have seen it go as high as like 2-3 hours. Is the new troop good? No, it's actually really bad. Literally, Gorgultha's better. It has the same problem that Stonehammer and that one guard shield troop has, in that it is so absurdly tanky, but its ability is basically just a big mana soak that blocks all your mana, because the ability is pretty underwhelming for how much mana it costs. So it shares the exact same issue things like Stonehammer have, in that, yes, it's like super ultra tanky to skulls and just, you know, having a lot of resistance, but it's blocking your mana so hard that there's almost no situation where it'd be worth using. You'd get more value just from using the Legend of the Gorgultha than any of those similar mythics. Oh, I meant to take that the other way around. Whoops. But no, it's a pretty underwhelming troop. However, there is an achievement attached to it. And currently, so few people have gotten it on Steam that it registers as 0%. It's not actually 0%, but it's such a small number that it says 0%. So it's mostly just for the vanity of having it more so than anything. And also for completionist sake. It also does count for a star for Dragon's Claw, because it is a troop associated to Dragon's Claw. So to technically have all your kingdoms as max as possible, endgame players would technically need to get it from a full completionist standpoint. As it does give you 1 little kingdom upgrade on Dragon's Claw. It's not that important, it's probably just some extra tribute reward, but an extra star is an extra star. I don't really see it ever being viable on any team, though. If we do get it before Guild Wars, we'll probably make one really trolly defend team with it on one of the Guild War defend days. But beyond that, I don't really see any purpose for it, other than to troll people next Guild War by setting it on your defend team. Because you'd be trolling them in 2 ways, with whatever the team is, plus the fact that you have it. Because statistically, they likely don't. Let's see, we'll take that over. Though the team would probably be really underwhelming, especially compared to the meta that exists within Guild Wars. Oh, does he mean Oberon? Oh, I'm not sure if he's referring to Oberon. He mentioned Mimic in the first question, so I assumed he still meant the other thing. But if you're talking about the one that came out in Event Key drop table this week, it's actually really good. The biggest synergy that it probably has is with Rowain. Of course, Rowain already had a half mana start, however, it's still pretty viable to be able to use in some alternative teams with it. Aside from that, I haven't really messed around with it yet. We probably should at some point this week. But it's good, really good with things like Queen of Tanya, some of the better damaging mythics and stuff like that. I still really want to see what it can end up doing with Queen of Tanya. Still haven't messed with it much yet. We'll probably do that tomorrow night, I think. Because I still haven't really sat down and experimented with Queen or King Oberon teams yet. I messed around with it a little bit before the Monday video. I mostly just showed the Rowain build, of course. Might still cover a video on him this week. We'll see. If I do, it's probably going to be this weekend. But yeah, I do want to mess with Queen Titania and a few other builds. Mostly Queen Titania, though. Like, out of everything that can be used with him, I am pretty certain that's going to be one of the better builds, aside from Rowan. Obviously, Rowan being the other really big, noteworthy one. Because it basically makes the Rowan team that already existed even stronger. Not by much, but it is still the best way to build Rowan now, if you happen to have all the components. It's a bit more expensive to build it that way, but you get a slightly higher damage. And while the slightly higher damage probably doesn't matter too much, it's still more damage. Also a lot more durability, though the damage is the more relevant part. Is it mythic or legendary? The event chest one is only legendary, so it's a lot easier to obtain. I think it took me about 100, 150 keys. Though it could take less, could take more. Like, I'm pretty sure if I tried for it right now, we could almost just get a copy of it. Let's see, I don't actually have a second copy, so I might as well try. Let's see, how many does it take us to get one? Oh gosh, we got 4 glitters and none of him. Yeah, we got one in 100. Oh, there he is, King Oberon. Yeah, he's right there. He's a legend. He has a mythic border right now just because I have him upgraded there, but he's a legend, as you can see by his coloration. But there he is. And now I have a second copy because I actually only had one, so now we have 2. And Tribute's ready as well. There we go. Anyways, back to the grind. I don't think there's any instance you would ever use more than one, though. It's always nice to just get another one. I wouldn't advise doing that, though. But we have enough resources where we easily can. Because double 50% does not stack. The way that mana percents work in this game is it just takes the highest percent. It does not take multiple of the same. So 250% is still 50%. It's also why you don't use Anu on every single team necessarily. Because that 20% does not stack with a higher percent. So if you already have a 50% mana start, 20% is literally nothing. Assuming all 4 of the troops are using the 50%. There's still plenty of times to get event keys throughout the week. And if you didn't get your 10 through the shop yet, you still can. In the shop all the way to the left, you won't be able to see it in my game because I already got it. But all the way to the left in the resources menu, there's normally an option to buy 10 of them for 180 glory each, 1,800 total. If you haven't done that yet, definitely make sure to do so. Because you can get 10 every single week. But you can still get more throughout the week. Because he's still around for another, what, 4 days, 5 days? He's around till reset on Monday. So basically until Sunday night. So that's still a good solid 5 days. But he's a pretty good troop to pick up. I wouldn't say he's like a must-have, but he's pretty decent. I would definitely advise getting him. Yeah, I haven't messed around with him yet with either of the 2 Bright Forest weapons. The Fey one or the Broken... not the Broken Spire. What's it called? The Bright Forest one. But I haven't used it with either of those 2 weapons yet. I definitely need to. I was mentioning in the Monday video, but I haven't actually composed any teams from it yet. Because it probably has some decent mana potential. I'll probably be doing that tomorrow night for the most part. I want to see what we can end up doing. Also, hello, Genki, by the way. We'll be messing around with that and see what we can do. For now, though, let's see if we can even get one single Mimic. Because we're doing pretty bad on it right now. Not a single one. So, gosh, why is it so hot in here? I assume we have the air conditioner on. It's starting to become somewhat more summertime. Or at least by me anyways. It's like always warm around this area though. Does Genki ever sleep? I actually do not know. Because I know whenever she streams, it's like right when I'm sleeping. So I like never get to see them almost. Or if I do see that she's up, I'm like so tired that I am like pretty much at the point where I'm about to go sleep. Let's see. I'll throw that down. What is sleep? I just realized the camera focus is still kind of off, isn't it, from earlier? Not like it matters too much. As I move it to almost the exact same location. As I adjust it to basically exactly where it was. Because I actually changed it when we did the Ring Fit Adventure live stream. And I apparently did not fully readjust it properly. Oh, I did finally get the exercise clothes. We might do it again tomorrow. Finally got some actual proper exercising clothes. Something I've never owned. I should probably move the camera lower when we do that other stream, though. Hey, verse 2. Because you could, like, literally only see my upper body last time. Don't want it too low, though, or it'll literally just be a crotch shot. Because I only have, like, 2 really good locations where I could anchor it to. And realistically, the place I normally put it is on top of the TV. Which is actually where it is right now as well. You actually missed Wish Gems? Oh no, they were both good and bad. That would be a poll that we could end up doing too. I know we did a poll earlier on which ones people hated the most. I actually completely forgot which one won. I know Wish Gems was actually kind of high up there. We can make a poll for it tomorrow, though. I don't think we'd have enough time to stream to get good results on it. Like what people think about Wish Gems now that they've been gone for a couple days. Because by tomorrow it would have been a couple days. Because that'd be the 3rd day without them. But yeah, they were both good in that they give you a lot of mana for free. But also bad in that they occasionally give the enemy free mana out of nowhere on your turn. Which, depending on your team composition, can be useful, but most team compositions don't like that happening. Especially in a PvP-like situation. Oh, it's not as intimidating in side modes, though. Because in side modes, the enemy having full mana doesn't hurt you as much, compared to in a PvP infinite loop, where their entire team having full mana likely leads to your death. You have Lycanthropy on Switch right now? Oh gosh. Yeah, Lycanthropy is really bad. I didn't even include it in the last poll of which one was the worst gem because I thought it would bias the poll too much. Like I did a poll last night or the other, yeah, it was last night, wasn't it? Yeah. Where like what was the worst power gem we've ever had? And I specifically made sure to exclude as far as the seasonal ones, and I specifically excluded Lycanthropy because it would bias the poll so heavily that Lycanthropy would just blow out everything else. So I made sure to exclude it just to get better results. Because you know if we put Lycanthropy on that list, it'll win without even trying. It would have like 70% plus of the vote. But oddly enough, I think Potion Gems actually won when we did that poll. Which I was actually kind of surprised by. It was a pretty close poll though. Like, all 4 options actually weren't too far from each other. Despite it having, like, 80 votes or something. What are the most gems you've received from a tribute? 31. It's possible to hit 35 in the current state of the game. 31's our highest we ever got. Which would have been a 32 tribute, which means it was 3 off from the max you could ever have. But yeah, I've never gotten anything higher than that. 31's the highest. Which technically is a 32. Or, you know, it's a 32 tribute, 31 gems. And the highest you can get is a 35 tribute with 34 gems. I think our average these days is 23, 24, I want to say. Somewhere's around there. It's definitely 20-something. Yeah, it's hard to get those final few, because you have to roll so many RNGs simultaneously. I also don't take tribute that much. Or at least not compared to some people. I think in my average day these days, I take it like 4 times, maybe. Because I'm not super paranoid these days about taking it every hour. If there was ever something that needed a lot of gems that comes into the game, I probably would start doing it again. But, I don't know. I'm not too paranoid about taking it literally every hour these days. I was, like, initially when it first started. Because there was just so many free gems compared to what we were getting in the past. But, haven't really been touching it much lately. Also because we have a gem amount that, at the rate that we're getting, is enough to maintain everything within the game for the most part. So I haven't really had much of a need to go too crazy with it. But of course you can realistically take it like 16 plus times a day. Which, with how many gems I currently get from it, would be over 300 gems per day easily. Like, even if we got bad RNG, it would still be over 300 gems if we took it 16 times. That means we'd have to take it, like, literally every hour we were awake. Realistically. Which, obviously, I do not do. Though I would be surprised. Actually, that would be a good poll question. How many times per day do you take tribute? Honestly, I almost want to poll it now, even though we're towards the end of the stream. Hold up. Let's end this stream. So it definitely looks like overwhelmingly people still do the Tuesday faction event, which makes sense. However, I do want to poll this real quick, because I'm actually curious. How many times do you take tribute every day? What should I make the lower end? I guess 0 to 4? 0 to 5? Let me see. I might even pull this again this week. I'm actually really curious. How many times per day on average do you take tribute? Let's see. Do I even dare put a 24 option? There's no way anyone's doing it that much. Let's see. Let's do a 0 to 5. Oh no, is that too low? I shouldn't say 0. That means you're like literally not playing the game. How about 0 to 3? Then we have like a 3 to like a low ball range, like 6. Then we have like a 6 to 12, or 7 to 12, because I don't want the numbers overlapping here. So let me do a 4 to 6 for that one. Actually, maybe I should do a 4 for 7 for that one. Maybe even a 4 to 8. Because that'd be like half the times in a day. And then you do a 9 to... How long would be 2/3 of it, or 3/3 of a day? Or 3/4, I mean. That would be a 9 to 18. And then the other one would be 19 plus. Which I am concerned for your sleep schedule if anyone is voting for that. Okay, let's see what that does. I'm not sure if those are good ranges, but I feel like that will be a healthy range for the poll. Let's see. We'll find out when we get our results. And we can adjust accordingly for the next time we pull it. But I'm really curious what that comes out to. I think I would be in that second category. The 4 to 8. The very low end of that 4 to 8, though. Oh gosh, someone already voted for 19 plus. Someone already voted for it. A lot of 9 to 18, so that is a really big range. Yeah, it depends if you're working, true. That's why I said on average. Because obviously the range might change per day based on people's schedule. Honestly, I feel like I take it more often if I'm, like, doing something. Like, if I'm out of the house, I feel like I take tribute more often than less. Because it's a lot easier to claim it off a phone than it is on PC. It's basically just a few quick taps, whereas on PC it takes a lot longer. It's still a few taps, but, you know, you have to, like... Yeah, it feels more out of the way on a PC compared to on a phone. Your phone is glued to your hand, oh gosh. I'm surprised how low 0 to 3 is. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be super high, but I wasn't expecting it to be that low. Yeah, I feel like there's a disparity between phone and PC as well. Like, if you were to break down that poll of only PC users and only mobile users, I feel like the mobile end would be way, 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 way higher compared to the average amount of tribute taken on a PC user. Because it's way easier taking tribute from phone than on PC. Not that it's hard to take it on PC, just more convenient to take it from phone. And also consoles, I assume, would have the same issue as well. Or, you know, that they would have a lower overall rate. Switch might be the exception, though. Though Switch is a hard thing to just grab out and quickly do something on, though. Even though it's more of a mobile-esque kind of platform. It's not something you just bring out, play it for like a minute, and then put it back down. Switch is more of a, you take it out, play it for like 15 to a half an hour, then put it back down. It's not that good for like a quick tap. But I'm slightly concerned for the sleep schedule of anyone who voted for 19 plus. It's 13% with 30 votes currently, which means, what's the breakdown of that? That is at least 4 people then. 4 people out of 30 people currently in chat has voted for 19 plus times, which means realistically you get less than 5 hours of sleep on an average day. You should probably get slightly more sleep. I should probably take an extra turn there. Whoops. I know, that would definitely be tiring. I wouldn't be surprised if Isabel is also taken it that many times. I'm not sure who the other two would be, though. But yeah, I feel like back in the day I on average took it like 10 to 12 times per day. But my closer average these days is like 5-ish or so. Which is kind of funny because I get more from the tribute now than ever. Because based on how many times I've taken tribute, the amount I get from tribute has pretty much always been the same. Because back when it was first introduced, when we were getting a lot less for it, I was taking it way, way more. But then over time, I gradually took it less per day. But I was also getting more gems naturally from it, just because of how Tribute works. So the amount we get per week from Tribute has basically never changed, despite the amount that I claim Tribute has changed. Simply because even if I'm taking it less, we're still getting more per tap that we take it. Someone has 3 Curse Gnomes and a Lance Knight for their PvP defend team. That's funny. I guess that forward Curse Gnome if I wanted to. I saw someone do that on a very early day. Like, I think it was like the first week. Sometime in the first week of Curse Gnome existing, someone was trolling people by setting 4 Curse Gnomes. We could if we wanted to, though it's not as special now. It would have been really special the first month or so. Especially that one guy who said it on his first week. There's been plenty of time to get 4 Curse Gnomes now. Something that would be pretty impressive currently would be anyone who sets 2, 3, or 4 mimics. Horde mimics. Hey, finally! It took us 51 minutes and 35 seconds. Or technically 34, somewhere around there. Let's hope we get a 5 times or something. We finally got it. Took forever. Almost an hour, but that's pretty much what I said. It takes about 1 hour per these things, on average. Or I feel like that's been my average anyways. I know our poll said otherwise, but personally from my experience, it's been on average an hour to an hour and a half. Normally around an hour, if you count all the ones where we got super lucky, like in 20 minutes or something. Let's see what we get here. Come on, 5 times. That is not a 5 times. Come on, Nisha or Anu. Okay. Come on, 4 Orpheus. Okay, nothing. We missed like every possible RNG roll there. Well then. Well, we got some okay loot, I guess. But anyways, guys, any other questions? Otherwise, I think we will be wrapping up for tonight. Because I'm scared to say we'll go for another vault because we could be here another hour or 2, and I do not want to stream that long tonight specifically. But yeah, tomorrow we'll be back same time as always, 2 hours prior to now tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll probably mess around with what's his name? The new legend that came out this week. Because the only other thing that we have going on is a pet event that we technically don't even need to do because I believe I already have it maxed. Aside from that, we should hopefully have a video going over Tower of Doom tomorrow. Of course, we already kind of have on the weekly video, though I do kind of want to do like an in-depth specific video on it. For any of you still looking for info on how to do Tower of Doom, just to kind of have an updated one for the future, since it's probably not changing anytime soon. And as I say that, probably in 1 week, they'll change how Tower of Doom works. Aside from that, yeah, we might do a midday stream tomorrow. If it's just going to be a quick Ring Fit adventure. Get some exercise in. I think this Thursday, we might finally start Triangle Strategy. It won the other poll, so if people are still interested in it, we might as well do it. It was a game I was going to play around launch, but then, not Age of Calamity, but then we got kind of hooked into Pokemon Legends Arceus, and still kind of amped. Though I've definitely been playing it way, way, way less. But now that we're kind of pretty much done with that game, at least until they drop DLC or something else, we'll then go move on to Triangle Strategy and see what's up with that game. Not sure how long we'll be going through Triangle Strategy, not sure how long a game it is, how much content it even has. I know very little about it. I'm going into it pretty much fully blind, but I have heard some good things about it, so we'll see how it goes. I believe, unfortunately, right now it is a Switch exclusive. I'm not sure if it's coming to other consoles or anything, but I believe it is currently Switch exclusive. And I heard it's kind of like Fire Emblem Three Houses, though not. It also has like that weird 2.5D pixel style. So we'll see how it goes. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you so much for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your week and catch you guys soon. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching.